Good evening, ladies and gents. If you can see if you can see my screen and hear my voice, do raise your hand so we can see we're in business. We're in business. Um, Evening, ladies and gents. Njabulo Nsibande here. Someone Brown will be a bit late today, or might not join us today. He's doing an interview for his radio show. This is Follow the Trader with Njabulo Nsibande, 25th of February, 2021. This was supposed to be yesterday, but of course we had the budget speech to focus on. So yeah, the market has been quite good, especially today after a red day a couple of days ago. Um, so I haven't been stopped on out of any trade. There's a new trade, a few trades that I've added positions on. So starting off, African Rainbow still looking good. I haven't trailed my stop. Still trading between that 262 and 304 box. Yeah, looking good. Waiting for that break above that 304, in which case I'll add into the position and trail my stop accordingly behind me. Aspen still, I thought with the vaccine news and whatnot, this would have broken already, but seemingly not the case as yet. Still waiting for that breakthrough and a close above that 150 level, and then I'll add into this position. I got triggered on that bull flag there. When we break through that 151 level, I'll then add into my position on Aspen. And next on BHP is a trade that I added into the position just before the close today, as it was breaking through that, breaking out of that 440, 484 box, going into that 484, 550 box. And I've trailed my stops accordingly behind me, risking 2% on my portfolio because the previous trades are already the stop is already above both entry points, so which gives me the freedom to add in a full 2% of my account equity. As you guys know that I continuously fund this account, and I'll be adding about 3 grand to this account. So I've calculated my risk, my 2% maximum risk on the trade, based on putting that into consideration. So Capitec is still not moving in the right direction as yet, still muddling along, going nowhere slowly. I'm happy to hold, waiting for that breakthrough, that 1,500 level. Perhaps maybe I'll add into the position or just reduce the risk accordingly. Next is Coronation. I added into the position as we broke through that 51 rand level yesterday. Came back to trade below, but I'm still comfortable just retesting that resistance of the bull flag. So yeah, that's good. Coronation has been good as of late. Next is next is uh, Discovery. Discovery looking good. I entered on the break of the bull flag. The past couple of it hasn't moved very far as yet, but yeah, still looking good. First intro was a break back into that 131, 163 box. I had another one nice bull flag, in which case I pulled my stop bitterly close below that 131 box. And as we break through that 163 box, I will add into this position accordingly. Another one I'm looking quite closely is Distel. As you know, Distel is a trade that I've entered back in September, on a bullish engulfing candle. It's been a trade that has been doing very well for me. And now if I jump back into my weekly chart, I'm in a position where I can now start to. I'm very very close to now being able to add into this position. As you can see, the 30 is very very close to crossing the 60-week exponential moving average. Think about 80 points difference between the two exponential moving averages. So I'll be able to then take a new trades. I'm waiting for the close through that 118 level. I want to close above 118 level, in which case I'll then be able to add into this position, and I'll trail my stop and put it. Um, okay, I'll put my stop somewhere around that 108 level. Let me just change the color to that. Yeah, I'll put my stop around that 108 level. Perhaps as a start, I can put it just halfway through the box around that 106. And as I get more opportunities and trade it accordingly behind me. So next is Exaro. So I'm waiting. Exaro has been breaking that 187 level, but hasn't confirmed. So I'm was with Exaro's waiting for the 3% breaks, a close above that 183 rand level. In which case I'll add into the position, but it hasn't as yet. But I'm pretty sure it probably will over the next couple of days, if not this week, maybe next week. Um, Fashin is still muddling along, still doing quite well. I'm looking to trail my stop and put it halfway through. That was locked. Halfway through that 82 105 box. Let me just change the color of around that 98-ish level. As soon as we take out um, once we take out that want to close above that 115 level, I'll let's see. This chart is still very far from actually completely turning the tide, meaning the 30-day exponential moving average to cross the 60-week rather exponential moving average. So I'll just be trailing my stop for now on Foschini and not adding into my position. Next on my list is Glencore. Similarly, it was breaking into a higher box, I added into this position there. Looking quite lekker at the minute. Yeah, looking quite good. So the box was that one there. Yeah, that one there. As we had that breakthrough, breaking that resistance. Let me just copy that. Uh, as we were breaking through that resistance level there, I then added into my Glencore trade, trading my stop accordingly behind me, looking quite good. Next, Impala, also nice bullish break there. As a start, I'm putting my stop quite a fair bit away from traffic, in the last third of the previous box. And as I get more opportunities or other signals, I'll then trail my stop accordingly behind me while it's still bouncing around the 243, 260 box. And then I'll trail my stop accordingly behind me as well. Next is Mondi. So I'm waiting for this bull flag to break. As you can see, we're still in the bottom half of this bull of this 359 390 box. As we break through that bull flag, I'll add into the position, and accordingly as well as we break through the 390, I'll add into the trade again. But when we break through that 390 level, I'll pull my stop halfway through this box. The 359 350 what is it? 359 390 box, halfway through that box. Next is Mr. Price. Mr. Price looking quite good. Nice bullish flag on Mr. Price as it breaks below the previous box. And when it breaks back into that 179 200 box, I'll then probably add into the position. Granted, this earlier position is in profit already, and of course the stop loss is well above the previous stop, which would be the case on Mr. Price. Next is trade I'm still on, Northern. I added on this trade as it broke through that level, the 218 level there. Yeah, looking quite lekker, trailing my stop behind me accordingly. So my stop was at that 178 level. Now it's at that 194 level. Uh, at break even with the previous trade. So that's looking good at the moment. Quilter came pretty close to stopping me out on that pullback. There, it was literally within a few cents of stopping me out. The lowest there was 310. So within 5 cents of stopping me out, but I wasn't stopped on that trade. So still looking good, nice bullish flag there. But I'm waiting for the 350 level for me to then consider adding into this position and trailing my stop accordingly. Uh, Royal Bafokeng. Actually, Royal Bafokeng was looking good around 330, and then came shot back down but it closed above that 93 rand level, so which is good. Looking to break outside of that 75.93 level. So I'm gonna wait for tomorrow to see if we get a solid close above 93 rand and some change, and then I'll add into this trade and pull my stop accordingly halfway through this 75 93 box. Perhaps I'm gonna put my stop. Yeah, that looks like a good place to start, to put a stop as we break through the next box on Royal Bafokeng Platinum. PGMs are looking quite lekker at the moment. PGMs are looking quite good. So another one is on Citrix 40. So we had a buy trigger. If I can bring back my 15-day exponential moving average, we had a buy trigger here. That was yesterday. So that was where I had to wait for the close above that 6104 level, which was above yesterday's close, which we got that today. And I entered just before the close today. So the lazy system confirmed on Citrix 40 today. And then if you want an email alert on the lazy, do subscribe on the Village Trader mailing list. I do send out alerts on every event relating to the lazy system, along with other alerts as well. ShopRite still muddling along, going nowhere slowly, but still quite comfortable because even though we're not moving higher, we're making higher lows, which is always good. I'm waiting for the breakthrough that 150 level, and then I'll add into this position and trail my stop. There's multiple places of where I could put my stop. Put a stop next. I'm gonna put my stop below those lows there, depending, rather below the trend line there, depending on where that lowest low is when that break happens, when that break above 151 happens. But at the moment, I can't preempt that trade. A trade that I actually missed was Sabanya. We had a nice break and it closed through. I had a sneaky uh, um, off buy limit order around that 72 rand and some change level. It came close to triggering me today, but didn't. But I'm leaving my order there. Maybe tomorrow I'll get triggered in because it is run quite a way, quite some distance away from me. It felt like chasing this trade, and that's never good. So I'll wait for it to come back to my level and take me in, and accordingly, let me just pull all my stop losses there. So my risk on Nsibande has reduced quite significantly, pretty close to breaking even on the second last trade. Um, how do I subscribe to the alerts? I'll leave the link to I'll leave the link on the spreadsheet for Follow the Trader. Also, you can visit villagetrader.co.za. The form is just right next to it. Or alternatively, you can also follow me at villagetrader.za on Twitter. I recently just posted the link there, so you can find the link to register to the mailing list there. But the easiest way is to just visit villagetrader.co.za. It's there on the homepage, just on the right hand side there. Next is transaction capital. I entered as it took up that high, that all-time high there, but seems to have came back over the past couple of days, but stayed above the 25. Just squeeze that 25, 28 bucks. Still comfortable as we trade higher. I'll add into the trade accordingly, and I've pulled my stop to that 23 rand 59 to the 356 rand level, 23 rand 56 cents level, rather, I should say, on transaction capital. Another stock that's popping on coming back on my watch list is Woolies. I want to quickly jump into the weekly chart. As you can see, these two are bitterly close from crossing. About 11 points from crossing each other, and currently trading between that 42.51 box. I'm going to now be looking for entries on on Woolies. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me in terms of charts today. Yeah, and I'm not seeing questions coming in. Let's see on the chat. So the question coming in is that I'm using mainly price levels and trends line. Did I backtest these ideas or not? I didn't backtest it through historical data. I just backtested it with eyeballing the date, the charts over time, and come up with my own strategies. And when you started this webinar, I was just trading everything, engulfing candles, breakouts, sort of bullish flags and that sort of thing, and breakouts out of levels. But over the period, I've readjusted my trading system and came up with my own strategy. Cool, my pleasure. Folks, I'm not seeing questions coming in. Graham, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll actually put the spreadsheet to be calculating of position size along with the spreadsheet that comes out with the emails. I'll add a tab there so that you guys can be able to just use it to set your position size and that sort of thing. Okay, let me quickly pull it up. Okay, that's not the one. So, yeah, a question that came up yesterday, rather last week, was how do I keep track of my risk at a portfolio level? It got me thinking, and then I've now looked at my portfolio properly, placed all my trades, and if all my stops gets hit, I'll lose just over 1,000 rands, which is still well above. I'm still comfortable, and that exposure is just over 25%, or just under, rather, 25% of my account equity at the moment. So the spreadsheet to calculate risk is this one. I'll also copy it into um, the 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 spreadsheet that comes up with the emails. This is the one. So essentially, you just put your entry when you're long, and you put your stop, and then your risk will be the difference between your entry and your stop on the long side, and similarly on the short side. And then how many shares you need to buy first. You need to first decide how much you want to risk on that particular trade, as a percentage of your account equity. Um, in my case, it's always a constant of 2%. I've since gravitated towards just limiting it to 2% of my account balance, which will then be 156 Rand in this particular case. And then you divide that into the risk. But this was actually with the Citrix 40. I was calculating my position for Citrix 40. You'll calculate uh, the amount you're willing to risk with the risk per share, and then you'll get the how many shares you need to buy on that security. I'll add this sheet into the spreadsheet that comes out on the emails. So let's quickly grab it. Where is it? Oh, so many spreadsheets. But anyway, I'll have it. I'll have it on. There's a on the email that comes out for reminders and that sort of thing. We'll have the spreadsheet, and the all the spreadsheet that I've shared today will be there. Yeah, it'll be there straight after Herman. The risk calculator spreadsheet will be there immediately after this session today. Folks, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. With that being said, we're going to park it here for today. Thank you for chilling with us, chilling with me rather. The video to this will be up on YouTube, on the Video Trader YouTube channel straight later today. And then you can grab it there, and the email that comes out tomorrow, you'll get the video there. Alternatively, you can just subscribe and hit the bell notification button on YouTube so that you don't miss these videos as well. How does Jack is asking, how does the 3% breakout work? So that's a good question. So let me find an example. Let's make an example with Aspen. So first you need to decide your resistance level. In this case was 101.47. And similarly as well, I use the spreadsheet has that calculation as well. So essentially you would take this amount, one in this case would be 147, and then you multiply it by 1.03. So essentially what you want the breakout to PS 3% on the next before as a confirmation level. So on this spreadsheet, I'll add it. So you just put the price on 147, and that 3% breakout will be calculated for you. And then I also calculate 2 times ATR in terms of the recommended stop loss as well. So this is quite a useful sheet. I'll add it on the for the trader spreadsheet as well. So that's how the 3% breakout works. Uh, okay, and also almost forgot on the short side, you would multiply it by 97%. So you would reduce the, so if you want 3% lower, you would reduce this by 97% and you will get your price accordingly. Graham, I do not use fib levels on my trading. I just use the market structures, and I use the box system as well. I don't use Fibonacci's. I don't know how to work. I've never been able to understand them properly to trade them effectively. Marlo, you're very welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Folks, I'm not seeing any more questions. Yeah, I'm gonna park it here since no more questions unless there are. Uh, yes, Gep. Alessandro, I hope I didn't butcher your name there. Is asking if gaps have affected me and stopped me out. Yes, I think one that springs top of my head was Sasso. I got stopped in Sasso on a gap on the trading update, and sometimes it works in my advantage, as in the case of Nsibande, when the market gapped today at open, it was in my direction, so that's been great. Uh, oh, awesome. Yeah, so sometimes it works in my advantage, sometimes it works against me. So but when my stop losses hit, I don't hesitate. I just take the loss and keep it moving. And sometimes it does happen that it gaps so much that it runs away from me, and then I lose out some on some trades. But what I will not do is now just trace the trades just for the sake of chasing the trade. How long? Tyler is asking, how long have I held a trade before? Ooh, I've been holding trades for quite some time. If I can sort this by open time, I think the earliest the longest trade that I have, I've taken it in the 24th of August, which is the Foshini trade and the Distill trade as well. So for as long as my stop is not hit, I remained in the trade. Yeah, Marlo, gaps can kill you. Yes, I almost forgot about Spa, but here's the thing: it just shot back into the lower end of the box, 199. So I thought it was gonna, it did break, but didn't confirm. See, that is why that 3% confirmation level is so important, because every trade that doesn't confirm is a trade that was essentially going to lose you money. So this trade broke but did not confirm. So I'm waiting for it to break through that 208 level. Confirmation is a close above that 250. So that the 3% break is, I'm more pedantic on it when I don't have a trade already. But if I do have a trade, I'm slightly more flexible. But if I don't have a position already, like in the case of Spa, I need the breakout to confirm first before I can take the trade. So Tyler's also asking how many shares I'm looking at on a daily basis. Pretty much all the South African equities that are listed on the Think Markets platform. I think I stand corrected. It's probably 50 or 60 trades. But on my watch list, that gets narrowed down because I only trade on the long side, and I want the 30-week exponential moving average to be above the 60-week exponential moving average. And I'm not looking at USD shares at the moment. So my focus is still on the South African equities. It's just for practicality reasons and for time reasons. I don't look at the US equities at the moment, maybe sometime in the future. Yes, I do trade the ETFs, but the only ETF that I trade is, can put that back there, is the Citrix 40. That's the only ETF that I trade, primarily because that's the only ETF that I could find, only vanilla ETF that I could find in the platform. So another question is the 30-day exponential moving average over the 60. No, it's the 30-day exponential moving average over the 60-day exponential moving average. I'm assuming you're talking about the laser system. That's just the direction of that I want to find, my direction of the trend. So my trigger is priced through the 15-day exponential moving average, like we had here. So I want it to close below the 15-day and then close above it. So 15-day exponential moving average is my trigger. So price through the 15-day exponential moving average is my trigger. And then a close above the close of the trigger candle would be my confirmation. And then on the equities, the 30-week exponential moving average above the 60-week exponential moving average gives me the long direction. Um, uh, Tyler, you're welcome. You're welcome. So yeah, for the laser system, that's the only trigger I have. Price through the 15-day exponential moving average, confirmation to close above that trigger candle, and I trail my stop using the 30-day exponential moving average. So when the price closes below the 30-day exponential moving average, in which case I'll then be out. But for as long as we're trading above that 30-day exponential moving average, I'll remain in the trade, and if I get another trigger, I'll subsequently take the trade. Growth point. Thoughts on growth point. I'm still bearish on growth point, so I'm not still, is it? So the problem I have with growth point at the moment is the 30-week exponential moving average still below the 60-week, still below the 60-week exponential moving average. But when it breaks out of the 1490 10 rand box, perhaps to trade the 18 rand 14 rand 90 box, I would start to consider it. But at the moment, not looking at it. uh Other than the other systems that I use, other than the box, just the box, and I incorporate it with other types of breakouts like bullish flags, bullish flag, falling wedge, cup and handle, and that sort of thing. And I also trade the laser system on the Citrix 40. Question coming in from Raj is, what is a swap? So swap is, so when we're trading CFDs, we're essentially borrowing money from the broker. In this case, Think Markets. So swap is the overnight charge that they charge you for the privilege of using of using essentially their money. It's like putting down a deposit and paying interest on the full amount, the full exposure. For example, I hold about 200 odd ETFs on Citrix 40, and which would cost me about 11. Uh, Cost me about can't remember the exact number, about 10,000, but I don't have 10,000, which means I'm geared. So that swap is the interest charge that I get charged every day overnight. Um, how many trades I make on a week on an average? I don't know how to answer that, but it just depends on how many triggers I get on that particular week. But typically so far it has been about 3 to 4. Sometimes I get nothing the entire week. And but I currently have about 20 trades open. It says 40, but that's because some of the trades are duplicates. Yes, April. That's one of the advantages. So April is making a point on starting with a small account. That's one of the advantages that we have with when trading with big markets, because no commissions, which is great, and no minimums. So which is even better, because I can trade a very small account without violating risk management rules. Yes, so Raj is also asking if the swaps gets deducted from the balance. Yeah, it gets deducted from the balance each and every night when you roll over onto the next day. So every day at 12 o'clock, um, the swaps get charged and get accordingly deducted to your balance. I think it's 1 to, I stand corrected, 1 to 10. That's the gearing level that you could get. I stand corrected, but you can find that information on thinkmarkets.com. Um, so Alessandro is also asking if the swaps are affecting the profits badly. Not, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. I think let's see, the highest swap is from Citrix 40, and that's because of the size of the trade. But if you look at the profits relative to the swap, it's a very small amount. So the profit open P&L at the moment is just over 600 rand, and the swap is 35 rand. So about less than, I can't do the math properly, but I think less than 1% on. It will hurt if you stay on one trade for a very long time, and you take a loss on that trade. So you'll get hit on the swaps, and you'll get hit on your stop loss as well. So that would kind of hurt the balance, but that's part of the trading costs that we incur. So Anonymous is also asking if I look at the weekly chart first. Yes, definitely. That's where I get my primary trend from. So, for example, even if the growth point price can break through that 15 Rand level, I would not take the trade, because on the weekly chart, we're still on a downtrend on the share. So I only trade in the direction of the weekly primary trend. So Tyler is asking on Nsibande. I'm liking Nsibande quite a lot. Trade that I'm in. Stellar results came out a couple of days ago. Looking good. It's a pity I wasn't filled on my entry today, but hopefully tomorrow maybe I'll get triggered and get filled on Nsibande. And Tyler, no, I do not trade Forex. I just don't trade Forex. I don't like overnight continuous markets. So yeah, that's why I don't trade Forex. But I'm actually working on a Forex bot. Perhaps if I can get that working, I'll trade Forex on using a robot, but I wouldn't physically myself take trades on the Forex market, because I have to wait for closing prices, and yeah, I don't. That's why I don't trade continuous markets. Cool, guys. We've run out of time, and I'm not seeing any more questions. I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. Which shares to invest in? Short answer, I don't know. For my investment portfolio, I only invest in ETFs, so I'm not a stock picker. I don't look at company fundamentals. I don't look in any of those things. The only share that I have on my personal portfolio is Purple Group, and just because I just like the story and the company. But I don't particularly invest in stocks. I just trade them, and when I trade them, I trade the price and trade the chart. I don't trade the business. Um, so I don't look at any fundamentals. So I wouldn't be in a best place to advise on which companies to invest in. Tyler, you're welcome. So yeah, I'm gonna park it here. No more questions coming in. Thank you for chilling with me. The video will be out a little bit later today. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get the push notification once the video is out. Yeah, otherwise you'll get pinged in the morning by Simon on the follow-up email. So yeah, so I'm gonna park it here. Thank you, everybody. Check you next week on the webinar. Cheers.